Today, I want to talk about how the law is fulfilled for us and in us. And I want to read you a couple verses from Jesus' great Sermon on the Mount. Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 and 18, where we read this. Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For assuredly I say to you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till all is fulfilled. As Jesus continued in his great Sermon on the Mount, he began a new section here by trying to prevent a misunderstanding. He said this, do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. Jesus here began a long discussion of the law, and he wanted to make it clear at the beginning that he did not oppose what God gave Israel in what we call the Old Testament. He did not come to destroy the Word of God, but to free it from the way that the Pharisees and scribes, the religious leaders of his day, had wrongly interpreted it. Jesus made it clear. He said, I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Jesus wanted everybody to know that he had authority apart from the law of Moses, but not in contradiction to the law of Moses. Jesus added nothing to the law except one thing that no man had ever added to the law: perfect obedience. We remember that even though he often challenged man's interpretations of the law, for example, the Sabbath regulations, Jesus never broke the law of God. This is certainly one way that Jesus came to fulfill the law, that is, to keep it and obey it in perfection. Yet, the phrase, the law and the prophets here, certainly includes the law of Moses, but it goes beyond it. It was a general reference to the Hebrew Scriptures, and oh, did Jesus fulfill what is given to us in the Old Testament. Jesus fulfilled the doctrinal teachings of the law and the prophets in that he brought full revelation. Jesus fulfilled the predictive prophecy of the law and the prophets in that he is the promised one, showing the reality behind the shadows. Jesus fulfilled the moral and legal demands of the law and the prophets in that he fully obeyed them and he interpreted them. Maybe I should say reinterpreted them in their truth. And Jesus fulfilled the penalty of the law and the prophets for us by his death on the cross, taking the penalty that we deserved. Therefore, Jesus could emphasize the lasting importance of the law. He said this, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till all is fulfilled. The jot and the tittle were small punctuation marks in Hebrew writing. It was as if Jesus said this, not one dot of an I or not one cross of a T will pass until all is fulfilled. And indeed, Jesus did perfectly fulfill the law. The Apostle Paul later wrote on this theme. He said this in Romans 10:4, for Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. It is complete in him. And this is especially appropriate in the context of the Sermon on the Mount, which shows us the character of kingdom citizens. You see, it presents to us a high standard. In fact, it's higher than any one of us can reach. If our salvation depended on the measure of our obedience to the Sermon on the Mount, every one of us would be doomed. Yet knowing that Jesus is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes relieves us of the need to earn our salvation by our own fulfillment of the law. And it gives us, by faith, the gift that Jesus earned for us. Now, having received that righteousness, we go out and live as citizens of his kingdom, the kind of life described in the Sermon on the Mount. Our obedience is still present, and it's still necessary, but as a response to the righteousness we receive in Jesus, not as a requirement to receive righteousness. today. Thank Jesus for fulfilling the law for us, and by faith, receive it.